Hi, and thank you for tuning in to the Daily Dose for Spiritual Growth. It is Thoughtful Thursday. Now, we are continuing on with our topic for the week, which is new beginnings. And today we're going to talk about Joseph. Now, this story comes from the book of Genesis, chapter 37, and we're going to read about Joseph had a dream from God about his future, what he would do, a new beginning for him. And he shares it with his brothers. And we're going to read a little bit about their response to that. This is found in Genesis 37, starting in verse 5. It says, Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him all the more.
That's right. All the more because he was already favored by his father.
And they didn't like that.
No.
That wasn't really popular among the brothers. He had gotten special gifts. We read of the coat of many colors prior to this. And just the favoritism that his father had, that he loved him in a special way, different from the rest. And so he has this dream and he goes to them, and they hated him. It says, he said to them, listen to this dream I had. We were binding sheaves of grain out in the field when suddenly my sheaf rose and stood upright, while your sheaves gathered around mine and bowed down to it. His brother said to him, do you intend to reign over us? Will you actually rule us? And they hated him all the more because of his dream and what he had said.
Probably not the wisest timing that Joseph had with telling the dream, but you know, I think he was excited. This was the new beginning that God had for Joseph. And you know, maybe you've experienced that same kind of opposition, some of the naysayers around you. Maybe you had a dream, maybe you had this goal like we have all right now, and maybe you've got some negative people around you and saying, you know, hey, you know, maybe you're not going to accomplish that. Maybe you have been labeled a certain thing, and it's really hard for people to look at you in a different lens. Yeah,
and so we want to challenge you today to think about who you are allowing into your sphere of influence, especially as you start acting out on some goals, some New Year's resolutions, things that God has placed on your heart, like he did on Joseph's. Think wisely, choose wisely who you allow to speak into your life. Because it's amazing how, although we know the course, if we start to listen to people who don't believe, who aren't encouraging, who are critical or condescending, we can start to self-doubt. We can actually take a seat instead of going forward. And so think about that, pray, and ask God to give you wisdom and insight into who to surround yourself with as you strive to reach the goals that he has placed on your heart.
So good. And thanks so much for tuning in today. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for another Daily Dose for Spiritual Growth.